Hey guys, Eternally here, and this is going to be my Diablo 3 Season Hero series. You're going to see me put lots of gameplay of me leveling up and, playing. And I just thought of, I talk about some Diablo related stuff and show maybe almost to an hour gameplay. I don't know, that's still not set in stone yet. It's mostly, to show that I'm participating in the new season gameplay that Blizzard put up for Diablo 3. I think it's an interesting way. I mean, it's not PvP related, but I mean, it is, but it's just you're not going against other players. You're not fighting them. You're just competing how you're playing the PvE side. So in a way, it's both PvE and PvP. So it's interesting, and I think it's a good little gray area Blizzard went through. And I really, excuse me, I do admire that Blizzard went this route. I think it's a nice way of going, not going to an extreme, which is something I think Blizzard should try to strive for instead of going to extremes. But I digress. Blizzard put in this season where I guess at the end or something you get unique rewards or stuff, supposedly legendaries, which is nice. But you have to start all over, can't use previous gears or gold, and such and such. I think that is a nice way, and I think that's perfectly okay. I'm sure I could do adventure mode, but I'm probably just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. So there will be times where you may like, oh, I've seen this before, you know, maybe this will be my runner-up at get entertainment. I don't know how many episodes of this I'll do a day. It really depends. It depends on how long it's gonna go. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. Keep keep that in mind. So if you could, please try and stick around, and thank you for supporting me. Anyway, there's a lot of controversy about Diablo 3 and its new storyline and the like. So let's start from the beginning. Basically, you start out, learn about the new. You see a character called Leah and old Tristram, new Tristram, whatever you want to call it. And there's how issues of a fallen star, whatever that is. You learn there's a bit of a zombie-ish problem, and you encounter a character called Leah. Leia, I don't know, with a red outfit. Anyway, apparently she knows because she is related to Deckard Cain, her uncle. Now then, basically, um, wow, get distracted. Excuse me. Basically, after that, you kind of have to find out what's causing all these bunch of zombies to come pop up. You go hunt a bunch of dead demon evil creatures, which is what I'm doing right now. So eventually, you do hunt hunt down a bunch of evil dead creatures, and eventually you go find where Deckard Cain was last seen, which is at the cathedral. That's where you find him. Then you learn that the Skeleton King has come back again, which is the third time that you fight him. But that's not surprising because it's undead. They come back. It's pretty much it's like a it's not bad. I mean, really, it's an undead, so they're gonna come back a lot. I mean, they don't have to all the time. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bush bad riding. No, it's not. Yeah, you rescue Decker King. I can no longer deny the true nature of it. So you can't really rescue Decker King and such. Learn about the fallen star, which, yeah. Leah doesn't really believe in the old tales that doom to the world is coming, but smarter individuals would believe so. Leia just thinks it's just a bunch of tale that's not really true. So there's that. So there is that, and I do believe you go eventually go after. You go back to the freaking cathedral again. All the while slaying shit ton of demons and the like. So it becomes a big constant. Anyway, well, oh, and I forgot because this is when you learn that Leah had both a father and a mother. Adrian was her mother. So when we learn about her her ancestry and her past. So obviously she has some magical prowess and talent because Adria is a witch, whatever that means. So we learn that Adria, whoever she is, has isn't exactly someone you want to associate with, but who knows? This is all on your journey to find. This is before you find out about the Skeleton King, so there is that. So yeah, but really, basically, the story leads up to the Skeleton King. On the way there, you learn about this past, that how eventually the Skeleton King was in life was slowly being driven mad by something, which was obviously Diablo. It was evil, excuse me. And the Skeleton King's advisor, Lazarus, seemed to be in cahoots with the evil. And so the king started turning against everyone, turned paranoid, thinking everyone was turning against him. He killed anyone who opposed him, and even went against his own wife. Again, spoiler alert. So eventually he did fall, but he he did make a point that he wouldn't be stopped. So you learn more about the Skeleton King of how he fell. It's an interesting story. King was slowly seduced by evil, tragic fate, corrupting one's heart. Now, this might have been known already, but it's nice to, at least if you're new, you get an idea of why the Skeleton King is what he is. So I don't think that was a bad aspect. Really, I had no problem. So I honestly think there's nothing wrong. So there is that. And I think, having villains who just have nothing, they're just there, that would probably not be so great. It really just depends on how they're portrayed. And really, better backstory for a villain makes them have a lot more interesting aspects, them more depth, so to speak, and makes them more epic and great fun to listen to. So I think that really helps. Now, some say, again, people really like to criticize Diablo 3 not being that story. Well, I tend to disagree. It's not horrible. I think it's a decent story. Really. Now, I don't know what ways Blizzard could improve, but so far it seemed pretty decent. That, and I took my time. I didn't try to rush through it, which is a problem these days. People just rush through these things. And by rushing, I mean they just don't give a shit. They don't really pay attention to what's going on. For me, I do pay attention. I might go a little fast, but I do pay attention to what's going on. I do put in the effort to pay attention. I just think that's a really sad part. All these great gaming experiences, you just don't pay attention. You should pay attention. Anyway, as I'm about to come out, you find some Templar dude on your way to kill the Skeleton King. There's other minor story aspects of it. Eventually, a blacksmith's wife is, very sick, and you have to put her down. Which I'm sorry, but that was probably really hard for him. I think that's more, I guess, a smaller side story. That's just a tragic part. Killing someone you love because they're about to turn. I mean, honestly, that's probably really hard to deal with. And it didn't really go in too much in detail, but to be honest, I, I would think that would stay with the guy for a very long time. Maybe doing all that blacksmithing, making awesome magical weapons is probably what kept him going. Did make him focus on his dead wife. So I really think that part is probably underrated. That part of the story is underrated. Because you don't, you know, You say it's not a big deal. Well, actually, if you had been in that person's position, you probably would be shitting your pants. It's easy to say you'd be able to handle it. I mean, I say I would, in the end, do the right thing, but it wouldn't be really easy for me. God, no. Fuck no. It would not be easy. Not easy at all. And when you do find the Skeleton King, the fight is interesting. It's not so much hard, but I do think that it needs a bit of. Granted, as the game progresses, the fights do get a bit different, and there's more different mechanics and such, which is fine. I think I just think Blizzard, you could try to add a bit more interesting mechanics. Yes, you're at low level, but I think you can tune them so they don't do so much damage to not be so overwhelming. And yes, there's higher difficulties. However, I'm sure you can add interesting mechanics. The Skeleton King has some undead, unholy powers. It makes sense to me. I mean, what else could you get from? And then when you learn about the Skeleton King, you kill him, you win. You find the fallen star, which turns out to be a man, and he has amnesia. Which people say, oh, it's an overused trope. Yeah, people use a trope, but in this specific context, no, not in this specific context. I've really seen. Yeah, in this specific context, you've done. It's not something you would. Essentially, really, it's not a bad little arc to go to. I mean, I don't see a problem. Really, I just don't have a problem with it. People say, oh, I'm a Blizzard fanboy, you're a corporate shell. No, I just legitimately don't find anything bad about it. I know people have a hard time just not hating on Blizzard. Sometimes, you know, you just hate too much. And you just gotta stop. You know, it's not hard. You can do it. And you learn about this guy having no memory, and you have to collect something. You have to collect two more things, which is supposedly fragments of a blade. You have to collect that. So as you collect them all away, you fight even more demons and stuff, and you run into this cult. So what happened? Well, first of all, before you run into the cult, you kind of go into this cavern of spiders. Fight a spider. Ugh, spiders. Sorry if I'm saying the story out of order, but yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's kind of difficult. And really, it's you find out the cult, little cult, and you find some demon thingy woman. See, now the story has gotten out of order. God damn it. I think I'll just stop here because I totally fucked up. Oh well, I'm new with this, so yeah. I think you guys can forgive me, right? Basically, Diablo's lore is very immersive. I think it's pretty good. Now, it's not great as Warcraft or anything, don't get me wrong, but I think it's definitely a worthy franchise Blizzard has. So, don't criticize it so easily. It's easy to criticize something, but much harder to enjoy something, although for me it seems to be pretty damn easy. But I digress. So, I'll be posting more of these episodes of my seasoned character hero as I go on. I'll be talking about more about Diablo. So, mostly let you know that I'm participating in this season. I have a main character for other stuff. I'm not going to be touching that just yet. It'll probably be for gaming vlog, much more fun gameplay. I'm saying, I really hope you enjoyed this video of me talk about Diablo 3 and its expansive lore. I'll be continuing to go on more about it. And I know many people already know the story and such, but I you want to know my perception of things. Right? This is Eternal Hero Elrond, also known as Elrond Light Zone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and send this around. Send the video around. Please watch. Right. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for supporting me, my videos, and feel free to spread this around. I'm hoping to bring more content. And if you have any more suggestions how to record my videos, please give me a suggestion, be constructive, or send me a message. I'll respond when I can. Once again, this is Eternal Hero Elrond. This is Elrond Lights On. I'm signing off. Thank you and have a good day.